Okay, it's been 2 hours and I've taken my dish out of the oven and just transferred the contents to my pie dish. Hopefully yours is looking something like this and you've resisted the temptation just to get a spoon and dive straight in. We can set aside the pie dish because we've got to roll out the pastry. So we just need to flour our work surface. So just taking a good pinch of flour, just scatter it all over your work surface and then you can pop the pastry straight on top. And now we just need to add a little bit more flour. Firstly, just a little sprinkling to the top of the pastry, and then secondly just to our rolling pin. So just rubbing the flour over the rolling pin. And then we can start rolling out. So just using an even pressure, just a couple of times, so forwards and backwards, and then we'll pick up the pastry just to check that it's not sticking. Maybe redistribute the flour slightly like that and turn it on its side and roll it back out again. Just nice and easy. Okay, and all we're really going to do here is just roll it out so it's big enough that we can cut out a circle that's just slightly bigger than our pie dish. So just turning it again, making sure it's not sticking. Just rolling it out. I think that'll be plenty big enough. So I've got a plate here that's just bigger than my pie dish, so that's perfect. So I'm just going to very, very carefully cut out around the outline. Obviously be very, very careful with your work surface here. It doesn't take a lot to cut through the pastry, so you really don't need to press hard at all. And then should be able to lift away the excess, and we'll be left with our pie lid. There we go. So we can just set the pie lid aside and bring our dish back in, our pie dish back in. So what we're going to do, using the excess bits of pastry, we're going to create a rim all the way around the pie dish which the lid can attach onto. So hopefully you've got your ramekin of water, and we just need to wet the rim of the dish. So just wet your thumb and forefinger and run it all the way around the rim of your pie dish. All you want to do is just dampen the pie dish. It just means that the pastry will stick a little bit easier. And then we just need to take a few strips of the excess pastry and then drape them over the rim of your dish. And then just like so. Just like that. And just pinch them in. Pinch it down so that it folds over the rim of the dish. Don't worry about presentation or anything like that. This is purely for the other bit, the lid, to grip hold of. So just cut another strip and then line that up and drape that over the rim of the dish, just pinching it onto the rim. And now it's just a case of cutting strips just to finish off. Not quite long enough. And this is a very important bit of the pie, because what it means is when you put the lid on, it'll give the pie some structure so that you get one big bit of pastry, and so that when the pie starts to sink in the oven and then it rises up, it's got something to grip hold of, otherwise it would sink and look very, very flat. So I've just got one little hole left to fill in. There we go. So hopefully yours is looking something like this so far. Nice and easy. So just wet your thumb and forefinger again and just rub that over the top of the pastry you've just put on along the rim. Nice and easy. Just to dampen it slightly. Again, it'll just help the pastry lid to stick. And then we can just pop the pastry lid on. So just very, very carefully pinching the lid together with the rim so it just joins it into one bit of pastry. Just pinch it together and pull it out so that it doesn't sink in. Okay, so just pinching it the whole way round, and by pinching it together you're just joining it so that it becomes one bit of pastry. There we go. And we can trim it up and tidy it up and make it look a little bit nicer in a second if you like. There we go. Just all the way around, just pinching it together. And then with your hands, any excess, just flatten it down against the side. Nice and easy. Right, and now if you want to be really fancy and exact, you can trim away any excess big bits of pastry, but remember that this is puff pastry, which is absolutely delicious, so I'm just going to leave it on. Looks nice and rustic, and there's more pastry to eat at the end of it. So all that's left to do is to egg wash it. So this just makes it go nice and golden. So using your beaten egg and your pastry brush, brush the egg all over it. Pies are just so delicious. If you get the right filling, top it with puff pastry, it is an absolute delight. And this is definitely one of those. There we go. Nicely brushed with the egg, so that'll go really nice and golden in the oven. And then the very last thing to do is just with a knife, just make 2 little holes in the top. And that'll just allow the steam to come out whilst the pie's in the oven. So just pop this on a baking tray and pop it into your oven for 20 minutes. But if you carry on watching, you'll see just how mine looks when it comes out. Okay, it's been 20 minutes. I've just taken my pie out of the oven, and here it is. Hopefully yours will look something like this, rustic but absolutely fantastic tasting. I hope that you enjoy it.